Cheers! Welcome to my channel. This is a beginning of the month for March Tarot Oracle reading. And Capricorn, you are the star of this astrological insight. If your sun sign is not Capricorn, we still all have a little bit of Capricorn in us. If you have your birth chart, which house is Capricorn in? That's where this energy shows up for you. My goal is to provide valuable information to empower you. So just be aware this is a collective or general reading. Parts may or may not resonate with you. Take what works for you, leave the rest. And also, this is a timely reading, meaning if you're watching it right now, it is the perfect time for you. Having said that, if it's been a while since I posted this, what were you doing then? What was happening in your life? That may give you further clarity as to your situation now. So we're going to begin with the underlying energy for the reading. And we have reconciliation. All right, reconciliation would imply that to have reconciliation, that you would need forgiveness first. Forgiveness paves the path to reconciliation. Having said that, you could forgive someone and do it just for yourself and choose not to even tell them that you forgive them and have absolutely no desire whatsoever to have anything to do with them ever again. So just because you forgive someone doesn't mean you condone their actions or you want to hang out with them anymore. But this is saying reconciliation. Sometimes because this looks like going back to your childhood, that this energy can talk about reconciliation of energies that happened, situations that happened in your childhood, and healing your inner child so that you can move forward in a really strong way. This energy of this card, at first when you look at it, it looks like, oh, there's some children playing in the yard with some flowers and there's someone watching over them. And then when you look again, you realize, wait a minute, that's a gnome and that's a little lady. And this little lady, she looks like a young woman here, but on the back side, it looks like an old hag's face. This energy actually is talking about whether or not this gnome is saying, hey, accept my cup of love. And she's saying, oh, okay, well, maybe I will. And the hag's saying, I don't think so. Let's get out of here. She's got a white glove on her hand, and that is representing energy of not wanting to get her hands dirty and saying no, knowing when to say no and when to not people please and say yes. Because when you look at this card again, then you realize that the person that's watching over them is actually not watching over them. He's walking away. And so, but they're not children, so it's okay. The other energy here is that these flowers in these pots are white, and they're very pretty flowers, and they're white flowers in tarot represents innocence. And but these flowers are not innocent. These flowers actually are datra, which is part of the nightshade family. So they can be very toxic if you ingest them. And also sometimes some shamans use them and have used them for through ancient times for producing visions to empower people. But the shamans know the amount to use and not to have it make you so sick that you become really ill. And so these flowers are not innocent. They're not something you would let children or pets play with, or you would want to plant in your yard. And interestingly enough, one of the videos that I watched was saying that for some reason, in the Epstein files, that there was a lot of energy of them growing this, it's a cousin to this plant, very similar, with similar properties, but those I can't remember the name of it. It starts with a B, and those they're called angel's trumpet, and this is actually called devil's trumpet. So it's just interesting, like what would they be using that for, kind of energy? I didn't really read the whole article, but I just found it really interesting because I've been talking about this with these flowers. And so this is saying what you thought was maybe innocent wasn't so innocent, or this happened when you were an innocent child and maybe you're not aware of it, or you have some illusions about your childhood, that kind of energy. And so it may be like you want to do some inner work to be able to heal your inner child and also your subconscious mind, you know, being able to come to some sort of terms with that. This also can represent someone from the past coming in. And, you know, we do have a retrograde coming up on the 26th here, and it's the 24th today as I'm doing this reading. It'll be the 25th. And so we can feel that energy coming in already. The energy is of the retrograde. Mercury goes into retrograde, and it's famous for causing malfunctions in technology and communication, etc. And the retrogrades, it lasts for like about 3 weeks, and so it will be starting on the 26th of February, and it ends around the 20th. So pretty much communication could go kind of haywire, and weird things happening, and we're really seeing that just in the last few days here. I'm experiencing it. My HVAC, I thought it was beeping, but I went through all this process of trying to figure out why is it making this noise when it's working perfectly, and consulting with the experts, and they're like, there's nothing wrong with it. So where is this beeping noise coming from? And now I'm starting to think, oh, it's my neighbors. They have some sort of beeping thing, but it sounds like it's coming through the ceiling. So I don't know, but that's the kind of typical retrograde energy where you're like, okay, whatever, I just quit worrying about it. I did what they told me to do, reset everything. And they can't see anything that there would be any reason. They just did a maintenance on it not that long ago. So I'm just chalking it up to Mercury in retrograde. You have to be careful with this energy though, because quite often people from your past will come in if they feel they have unfinished business, and they will want to reconcile with you, and sometimes not for the best reasons. And the next card is talking about the internal forces. Internal forces are what you have control over. You can't control what other people do or say, or the economy and all of those things, but you can control your reaction or your response to it. And so this energy is the King of Swords, is very well known as being like really good with their words, very charming. They would be in a profession that uses, you know, their heart chakra and their and their throat chakra kind of energy. So this is like someone that speaks about what they want to speak about. If they're a speaker, like an influencer, it could also represent legal type energy. So, you know, the written word and the spoken word, and applying law to it, and legalese. This can represent politicians. Politicians, you know, have their own language as well. It's kind of hard to understand at times. And that we have, this could also represent a surgeon energy, you know, because of the sword. What else? You know, this represents people basically that earn their living by speaking, or, you know, speaking in court, you know, like as a lawyer would, that kind of energy, or even like being on stage and speaking as well, you know, motivators, that kind of energy, gurus. That's the sort of energy. So the King of Swords knows that words can be used as weapons. The sword is a double-edged sword. Words can be used as weapons, and they can also be used as to uplift people. And talk is cheap. Action speaks louder than words. And also being able to be charming with your words. And so charming is sometimes used to get your own way. We have the Knight of Pentacles coming in. So the knights would work for the king and queen, and they would deliver messages throughout the kingdom. And you know, a lot of times they would be traveling by horse. This represents some form of communication coming in. And this knight, the Knight of Pentacles, is a very slow moving knight. And so this energy is talking about waiting and waiting for some sort of information to come in, and now it's finally coming in, and it's regarding the pentacle. Capricorn is the most mature sign of the horoscope, in charge of the pentacle energy, which is regarding the earth. So a lot of times this energy can be about land, you know, the property, real estate, mortgage broking. It can also represent banking, loans, like it would be someone high up in the bank. It can be like a minister of finance, some sort of energy like that. That's the head financial advisor of a large corporation. This could also be an entrepreneur that's very successful, that kind of energy. The pentacle represents like wealth, health, and happiness in the 3D. But the biggest thing is it's actually lifestyle. So you could have all the money in the world, but not be living the lifestyle that you want, which we're seeing right now in the news, because there's a lot of people that are caught up in these files that were like, they had like, way more money than most other people have, a way better lifestyle. But now perhaps they're being charged and arrested, and they may be losing their freedom, which is not going to amount to, they could still have all the money, but they're not going to have the freedom to live the lifestyle that they want. And this energy also, they'll probably lose the money as well because it was through ill-gotten gains. And so there's like some real wild energy happening on the planet right now. And this also because on February the 17th, we had Chinese New Year, and we moved into the year of the fiery horse. So when horses come up in the readings right now, that energy is talking about moving into this new way of being. You really couldn't be in any better energy right now, because on February 17th, we had a new moon, and we also had the Chinese New Year, and we had an eclipse, and it was a solar eclipse. And when the eclipses happen, what they do is they really magnify the weakest area of your life, basically, so that you can take a look at it. And the danger of that is that you can get so caught up in just one part of your life that you kind of ignore the other parts, so you don't really have the full picture. And so this is the best time to go inward, and especially with the retrograde happening, to really, process what's happened in the past, what has been working for you, what hasn't. Let go of what hasn't been working for you, and double up on what has been working for you. Put plans into place, get your books in order. It's income tax season. Get your house decluttered. A decluttered house clutters, or a cluttered house clutters the mind. So when you declutter your environment, then you declutter your mind as well. And then you can have more discipline over your emotions and your thoughts. This is really important right now, because if with this fiery horse energy coming in, it can really cause you to set goals that are too fast, that it would be impossible almost for you to reach them, and that you could really burn yourself out trying to get there. And also it can talk about having like impulsive energy, if a horse gets spooked and runs kind of energy. So this is like a slow moving horse is probably your best friend right now, because it's about containing those emotions, reining them in, so that you can make really strong choices right now. And then on March 3rd, we're going to have a full moon, and that full moon is going to be in the Virgo energy. And Virgo is like the middle of the pentacles. So the Capricorn energy is the most mature, and it's about responsibility. And the Virgo energy is about getting things in line, and it's really about environment too. Virgo, you can sum it up with cleanliness is next to godliness. And Virgos are very good at noticing when something's out of order, and it'll bother them. And so analytical critique from a Virgo can be very empowering. Unfortunately, sometimes they cross the line into anal criticism, and mostly they'll do it to themselves as well as others. But there's a fine line between that, because you don't want to be beating yourself down. You want to be just analyzing it, so that you can say, okay, next time I'll do this instead, and I'll do better. A lot of people, when they know better, they do better. And so this second eclipse on March the 3rd is going to be a lunar eclipse. So that means that the sun will block out the moon for a short amount of time, and during that time it's going to cause like whatever we missed in the first eclipse, like on 2 weeks earlier, is now going to be shown to us, and it'll be, the sun will highlight it. If you want to know more about the eclipses, I already have done a reading for each sign in the new moon eclipse, and I'm going to, right after I'm completed with these ones, I'm going to do readings for each individual sign for the eclipse coming up. So you can check that out on my new moon, full moon playlist. I organized my videos so that it will be, if you go to my channel, it'll be easy for you to find that. Also, the fiery horse energy, that's on a different playlist, along with the sneak peek at 2026 energy, and Valentine's Day, if you're interested in those, just if you want further clarity here. And then this is talking about hanging in there. Basically, it's a weird world right now. Like, there's a lot of energy out there that's like, whoa, what the heck is going on? But the hangman is hanging from the tree of knowledge, and he's hanging upside down because he wants to gain a totally different perspective of what's going on so that he can make strong choices. The aura around his head becomes very bright, and that's when he knows, okay, it's time to come down and take action. Really good energy. If this information comes in, you don't want to be impulsive and go do something right away. You want to check it out, make sure. There's a lot of AI out there. Information can, you know, these, in the old days, the information would be by person, but now, you know, a lot of the information we get can be from being online, and it can also be, you know, mail, emails. It can be text message, all of that. And sometimes they might not be who they say they are, or it may be, you know, misinformation, and you have to check everything out these days. Especially with the AI now, it's really easy to be a fake person. And then we have the High Priestess energy. So this is, yes, you need to use your intuition as well as your logic to, like the King of Swords does, so that you can, you know, use both to come to a strong conclusion, using your logic to ask the question, and then using your intuition to decide, okay, which of these is the best answer, and then applying logic to that in the third dimensional world as you step out. And so this is the really good energy to be in right now. It's the most productive. It might feel slow, but it'll save you a lot of time down the road, because rather than making an impulsive action and then regretting it. We have the Three of Pentacles coming in here. So this is saying that at this time in your life, you have mastered your skill set, and people are really recognizing that. So again, what a perfect time for you to reflect. If this energy can represent, you might have a special skill, like this is a stonemason doing beautiful stonework and sculpturing, and so you could be an artist, you could be someone who's like getting into the professional sports world, you know, getting a scholarship to go to university to begin that process, or having scouts come and want to sign you up for a professional team. We just had the Olympics. It can be that kind of energy. It can also represent musicians and actors and actresses. And you know, the thing is about this energy is you're in an elevated position because your skill is very unique and it's sought after. The problem is that when you collaborate with people, you have to be very careful who you collaborate with, because all you have to do is look what's happening out there right now, and you know who you collaborate with. And there's a lot of secret societies out there. This is my secret society card, in particular Masons, because of the stonemasonry work here. That it's that kind of energy. So the new moon on the 17th was in Aquarius, and Aquarius energy is asking you to do what's best for the group, and it's opposed by Leo energy, and Leos are natural born leaders as they become older. But this energy The Leo energy is saying, look, I'm a leader. I have to stand out, and I need to be able to express myself as an individual to do so. And the Aquarian energy is saying, no, you have to do what's best for the group. And when you sign up with secret society groups, you're signing on the dotted line that is your first priority, is the group, what they need, what they want. That is how you're giving your choice over to the group rather than keeping your choice as an individual. So it's when you do that, you give up your choice. And you're expected to, if you swear and that this is what you're going to do, they have a lot of rituals, they have a lot of secret handshakes, they have their systems, their rules, and you agree to it, then you're part of that. And so this is just being really aware of what you're signing up for. If there's any contracts, especially during the retrograde, you really, really, really want to look them over, look at the fine print, make sure that any contracts that you sign, that you cross your T's and dot your I's kind of energy. You are a star, and that's what you need to remember, is you have your own special, unique talent, and that was given to you by God to bring down to the planet. It's a weird energy that I picked up when I woke up from a dream last night, and it was like I had these words going on in my head saying, if God gave you the talent to be able to sing a beautiful song, would that be enough, or do you have to get paid for it? That was the message. And I'm like, oh, okay. So it's enough just to have the talent and bring it out there and do it. And this is talking about that, putting your own special talent and into the universal waters, mixing that in so that you bring the benefit to the world. And then you pour that out onto the earth here. And the earth, this is actually 5 streams, and those 5 streams represent the points on the pentacle. And so it's about being rewarded financially for the work that you do so that you can live a really good lifestyle while you're on the planet if you follow your North Star energy. Your North Star is your guiding light for your destined path that God put you on earth to be here for. This is talking about the energy of, this card talks about quite a few things. It can represent cutthroat competition energy. Kind of that attitude, I'll do anything to win, taken to the ultimate. This energy can also talk about the discipline of your mind, and that's the subconscious mind, the unconscious mind, and the conscious mind, and bringing those together so that you have a really the double-edged sword, that energy again. That you're not arguing with, you don't want to have a board meeting with yourself every time that you have a decision to make. And so that's that kind of energy there, getting that discipline of your mind. And we have the how you identify with yourself right now, your self-image. And it's like waiting for some information to come in regarding your lifestyle. So perhaps you're thinking about making a move, and this is really good energy. Research it. Like, I feel this energy is coming in, but in the meantime, while you're waiting and it's taking a while to come in, do all your research, your due diligence to see, like, if you move somewhere, what's it really like there? Look everything up. Get as much information as you can before, and then when the March 3rd comes along and we have that next eclipse in there, you'll maybe get the last bit of the information you need, but you'll be ready for it. You'll be organized. That's what Virgo wants on that March 3rd moon, is get organized, clean up your house, clean up your environment, get ready. And so you may as well get a head start on it now, because really it can be really challenging to be, a lot of times when you sign contracts and you have like a situation where I did, like with my HVAC system beeping away and no one can find anything wrong with it. Going like, okay, well, I'm not going to sweat it. I'm just going to accept it and see what happens kind of energy, and maybe get another opinion if I need to. And this energy is talking about abundance and self-worth. So this is talking about you recognize that it's worthwhile for you to do your research and get the best deal that you can. Communication in your early life. You may have always been a very intuitive person. And a lot of times intuitive people are very gifted, like when it comes to the arts, like being, intuitive people make really good actors and actresses and artists and, poetry and that kind of energy. This is your home and family life, your emotional foundation. You may be raised by Masons. And so you might already have been born into this energy and really your parents may have signed away your choice. You might not even realize it, but sometimes that can be a factor. Or sometimes this can just be talking about being in a family that's has their rituals and their traditions and has their certain way of doing things and being expected to do, as your parents tell you to do and do it in that way, like your cousin did and your cousin before that and your aunts and your uncles. Everybody is kind of in that energy, which could be represented by a particular religion or a group or whatever. This is talking about your creativity, romance, and children. So yes, this is about how do you express yourself as an individual, and are you bringing your own unique qualities down to earth from the heavens? This is about really having that discipline of your mind. This is your daily habits, your routines. If you clean up your house and you get it to the point where everything you own has a place, and so there's not a lot of clutter around, because after you use something, you put it back in its place immediately. That really quiets the mind and gives you a lot of peace of mind when you're looking around and you're like, oh, like it's nice and clean in here. It feels good. This is talking again about going inward, the subconscious, unconscious, and conscious mind. The subconscious mind is formed by the time you're 6 or 7. You're like a sponge when you're a baby, so you absorb your environment like crazy. And what happens is that subconscious mind is really the thoughts of other people, and the environment that you were raised in is heavily imprinted on you. Because you can't really remember it, but it's still like, it's kind of the subconscious mind. When we get triggered, that's the first thing we think of. The thoughts come from the subconscious mind. The unconscious mind is your soul's needs. And, a lot of people will say, I'm a human being and I have a soul. But it's more accurate to say you are a soul that's traveling in a human body. And that's your vehicle for navigating the planet. And your soul has needs. And if those needs are not met, then your soul will start getting, your unconscious mind will start getting very loud. And then we have this energy of the conscious mind, and that's what you have a handle on here. So it's talking about, experiences that you've had, that you have in your own memory, that you have experienced. And this is talking about laying the mind down to rest. And by going inward and meditating and praying, this stained glass window has the word Pax on it. And so the word Pax means peace. And so this is talking about wanting peace of mind from the external forces. That's the energy that's coming in. And the only way to have that peace of mind is to discipline your mind so that you don't get bothered by external forces when they come in. You don't react, you respond to them. And you can tell if it's an internal force because you'll be asking yourself, what if this happens? What if they do this and I do that? What if I do that and they do this? What if, shoulda, coulda? That kind of energy can keep you in a thinking loop. And the external forces are more where you be laying in bed and saying, what the EF happened? An external force came in and it disrupted your life. That's what happened. So we have... like the people, there's a lot of people right now that are from Canada and United States that went on vacation. They were like, okay, I want some peace of mind. I'm going to go lay on the beach. A lot of people save up for the whole year so that they can do so. And they go to the resorts, and they were at the resort and it just exploded there because someone in the cartel was taken down. And it's just been like, it's like not a pleasant place to be right there. And there's a lot of people, I think they said there's 26,000 Canadians trapped right now. Like the airport's closed. I think they're starting to open up and things are calming down a little bit. But it's this energy of, wanting to go there for peace of mind and have a vacation. And then this happens. Like, so it's even more stress. And that makes you want to walk away. But this card is talking about putting a lot of energy into love. Like, and generally this can be romantic love. And that you have put like 8 cups of energy. So this could be like a relationship, that lasted like 7 or 8 years and now it's falling apart or whatever. Or you found some information out. We have the new moon and the full moon here. And this is kind of what eclipse energy is about. It's about walking away from situations that are not beneficial for you. And so you may be walking away from someone because this is in your, this is about your marriage, commitments, and partnerships in business. So this could be a romantic love, or it could be wanting to walk away from a situation in business here that you've been, or it could be both actually. And we have working hard for, focused on making the coin. And so this is the only card out of all the pentacle cards where this person is working on the coin. This card has been coming up in most of the readings that I've done for the beginning of March. And it's because a lot of people are very focused on this right now with all the disruptions happening in the world. The economy is like sort of up and down and people are like, there's just so much happening. It's all you can do to stay on top of like just running a household, let alone running a country these days. And so this energy is either you started a project and you're on the second coin and you've got 6 to go, or you've completed 6 and you are working on the 7th and you have 1 more to go. And then maybe that's when like you're waiting for the money to come in when you complete this project. And so maybe while you were busy making money, your partner was out and about kind of energy. When the cat's away, the mice will play kind of energy. We have, yes, again, this card here, this is the 3 of Wands. And the 3 of Wands represents someone that is standing on one shoreline and wanting, this looks like sand, but it's actually water with the sun shining on it. There's ships sailing by. This person is thinking, I might just hop on one of those ships and sail away. I want out of here. I want to expand my horizons. I'm ready to take that action. Quite often this card will come up, especially when it's with something like this. It almost represents these 3 cups on top of these 5. These 5 are really neatly lined up, and then it gets like there's gaps in between these ones. And this can quite often, this person has crossed through this portal and is standing on the other side now. And this quite often represents for me someone who's leaving being in a couple to be a single person again. So there could have been, quite often this energy can be that there was a third-party involvement or something like that in the relationship. And then we have the Ace of Cups coming in, so it's talking about new love coming in. So this could represent the energy of, okay, you walk away and you just work away on your money, because isn't that interesting how that is? Sometimes when you have a real shifty love life, that's when you make the most money. And then, then sometimes you have a really beautiful love life and you're so busy focusing on that your money suffers. Plus you're always like, going out more, going on holidays like to Mexico to lay on the beach. It's that kind of energy, how life has it's, and then there are times when you can have both, when everything lines up in a proper way. And so this is like, the Ace of Cups is talking about, this is a divine partner that's coming in for you. So you have to walk away from the old that isn't working for you anymore. and move into the new. And this is talking about an overflowing love that comes in. There's all these lilies here, and lilies grow out of the mud. So it's talking about, you know, if you're going through a challenging time right now, which a lot of people refer to as the dark night of the soul, and a lot of the planet is going through that right now, it is a good time, like, to get your shift together and then have a clean plate, so that when you're standing at the buffet of life, you're not standing there with the leftovers on your plate and, oh, I'm just going to add like the new food to that. It's not going to taste as good, and it's not going to look as good. And this is also, you notice there's a dove here, so it's talking about this, a peaceful relationship, one that is holds you up instead of distracting you. And we have the Knight of Wands coming in here. So the Knight of Wands is representing, you know, the energy of the knight again, but this one is talking about, this is a rebel with a cause. This energy is talking about exactly the fire horse energy that we just moved into on the 17th in the new year. Having like a love for adventure, setting high standards and goals and achievements, going for it, but reining in your emotions. He's got this big red plume on his hat showing that he has learned how to rein in his emotions, and the horse is, you know, rearing up, but the horse knows that he's in control, and he's not going to just fly off the handle and, you know, move forward. And this is about having this love that you have that's coming in is also going to be very passionate and full of adventure. That's what the pyramids in the background represent. And look at this, you have the Ten of Pentacles then. The Ten of Pentacles is the ultimate lifestyle on planet Earth. It's raining money. You went to the competition, the singing competition, and they pressed the golden buzzer. It's that kind of energy. Like you have the home, you have the partner, you have you have time to talk to your neighbors, you have pets. Like it's just a real, it's not just about having the money and the prestige and power of that, but also having, in being able to enjoy your life and enjoy the lifestyle, having the time to do so. So yeah, this is a really good reading, Capricorn. And this is like total Capricorn energy. Capricorn is represented by, the glyph is the sea mountain goat. And so the mountain goat climbs determined, consistent steps of action to reach the goal, very disciplined energy. And then when getting to the top of the mountain and achieving your goals, and having the responsibility to be able to do so, and the discipline of the mind to be able to, hey, if you fall down, it's not that easy to climb a mountain when you have a front end of a goat and the tail of a dolphin on the back end, and you're climbing a mountain like that. But somehow the Capricorn energy manages to do that, ruled by Saturn, by responsibility. And this is something that is going to also be influencing you, is on it's just within the last week, Saturn moved into Aries, into the sign of Aries, and will be there for 2.5 years. So it's learning about doing things in a new way again. Aries energy is the infant of the zodiac. Think about how much a baby learns in 2.5 years. That's what's going to be required of you. And a big part of that is because on January 26th, Neptune was in Pisces for 14 years, and Neptune rules Pisces, and that's more of an idealistic energy, you know, oh, I've always done it this way, it's going to work out, you know, being optimistic, just let it, you know, things will work out, they always do. That energy is like done because now Neptune is in Aries, and Aries is about having to learn what you learned, how you approach business, how you approach people, all of that all over again. And you think about it being in Aries for 14 years. So you can think about, you know, what does the path of life of an infant to the time they're a 14-year-old person. And that's kind of like similar to the journey of the whole planet having to relearn again how we're going to approach business, how we're going to approach life, you know, and and it's a great opportunity for doing things in a new way. but at the same time having to be able to let go of the old ways to be able to do so. And with the Saturn on that, and with the Neptune and Saturn together for the next 2.5 years, Aries is ruled by Mars. It's an aggressive planet. So it's like it's going to get its way, and Saturn and Neptune are going to be like forcing everybody to learn how to be responsible in a different way and be accountable for everything you do. That's the energy that's coming up. And so it's a big, like we already are seeing this played out on the planet as we speak right now. For those of you who are satisfied here and you feel like you have everything you need from this reading, please do give it a like and comment if you receive value. I really appreciate it. It helps me build my channel. Also, consider subscribing if you resonate. I would be honored if you did so. For those of you who would like a little more clarity, I'm going to clarify with my oracle, Tales from the Vector, Tails. And I started this, and this is an interesting energy here. When on the 3rd of March in 2007, there was almost identical eclipse energy at that time as what's being presented to us now. So if you go back and you look, like what was going on in your life at that time, that's when I started my, like right around March in 2007, that's when I started this oracle. I'm an artist, so the paintings are really big dragons from the future, and they're from different parts of the world, and they all have a story that had to be painted into them. And I had a lot of fun with it. There were 64 paintings, and I completed all of them in 2020. I've had them out and about at my seminars when I used to teach seminars, and I had at psychic fairs and that, but I didn't have all the cards, and so the oracle has changed a lot now that all of them are in it. And right now I'm working on just gathering the information. I have a lot of information, but I want to play with the cards to see how do they work in real life, basically. And I will put in the description box below this energy or the numbers of each of these cards in the order they appear, and you can look it up on my website if you want to look at the gallery. That's the order that they are in the gallery, and it's Tails, Tails, from thevector.com. The information is in the description box below. Take a look at what were you doing in 2007 when this energy on around March 3rd, and that will tell you quite a bit. Also, other significant dates where it was similar but not quite as tight as on March the 3rd was there was an eclipse similar to this in 1980. If you were born then, that energy can talk about if not, it can talk about world events if that in the country or the area you're in, or something that was going on with your parents, or it can talk about you as a very young child. And 1988 energy also, there was a similar eclipse season like this one. The one in 2007 is the most significant. When I looked back, it was really interesting because I thought, wow, this is really like, this is the kind of energy of the eclipse. Is that in 1980, I had gone backpacking to Australia and I was planning to stay for 4 months. And I ended up staying for 1.5 years because back then it was easy to do that. They had working visas for travelers. There was a lot of Canadians traveling in Australia, and they were super friendly. And you could just get a job working at a pub or something for a few weeks. They were always happy to have you, and you could work there for a few weeks to get enough money so that you could go on the next adventure to see as much of Australia as I could. So it was really, really cool energy. And I loved Australia. It was amazing. I left on the very last day of my visa and then I traveled then through, I went to Bali in between, and I also went, traveled through Japan and Thailand, and stayed in Thailand for a month, and just really had a really good backpacking adventure. And so that was a real special time for me, and it changed my life. Also in 1988 is when this energy was around, and that was my last single year. Soon after that, I was having a baby and married. And so there is some significance to this. It's not necessarily a sudden change, but one that slowly moves over like a half a year or so. And it's something significant that can really change your life. And if you look back at it, I was like, wow, this is really a significant eclipse season, this one particular one here for me anyway. You know, every sign has its own thing. I do have a lot of Capricorn energy, so that's why I'm bringing it up for you here. You may also find, wow, that was really helpful to look back on those times. All right, we're going to clarify now. We have the Hangman here. So this energy is talking about having the balance, you know. Again, the Hangman, we see that energy when the Hangman is hanging from the tree and really going inward. It's a good time for during retrograde and reconciliation energy. Be aware that some things you don't want to revisit from the past and some things you might. The Temperance card here is talking about having devotion to your path. So your internal forces, being really strong to staying on your destined path so that you can be the star that you're meant to be and shine. And having the patience to be able to get there. This also represents earth angel energy. So a lot of people feel that God sent 144,000 earth angels to the planet, and that they do God's work to empower people to stay on their path and bring some peace into the world. The Chariot energy, sorry, I bounced my camera here. The Chariot energy this is coming in now. If you've been waiting a long time for some sort of information or communication to come in, it is on its way now. It's already in the spiritual and on its way. It's going to cause a transition here in your life. This energy here, it's talking about mother's worry. And now this card is coming up a lot. This energy, the High Priestess, she's sitting between the devil and Jesus. And this, you know, this energy kind of, I think right away about, you know, Mother Mary, who she must have been very concerned about her son, you know, when the events were happening on the planet. And it's kind of, but she was next to God. She sits on the throne next to God. So this is an energy of being in your intuition. And you notice there's a crescent moon here. And that represents that she understands the cycles of the moon and understands how to make sure she uses her intuition to empower herself. And that's how important that is, to use the combination of your logic and your intuition. And also that there's a lot of people call the earth Mother Earth. And there's a lot of people that have a lot of concern. And it's kind of saying, you know, like, that worry isn't going to help. Making consistent steps of action in this Capricorn energy in a disciplined manner is the best way that you can get ahead right now on the planet in this energy. We have on this Cancer energy is representing, Cancer is ruled by the moon. And again, it's emphasizing that at this time, sometimes the astrological influences aren't that important in the overall energy of the planet. But right now, there's a lot of astrological influences that are lining up to make it very powerful time astrologically. And this is saying you want to be engaged with the energy, not being entrenched by it, like not giving in to the emotion. When the horoscope signs come up, I'm not saying, oh, a Cancer is the one that did this, or it was a Leo or whatever. What I'm saying here is that I'm looking at the state of being of each sign. We all have a little bit of every sign in us, or almost all of them. And we can learn from the energy of the strongest state of being. Every sign has a special gift that they bring to the planet, and we can use that energy and learn how to use it in a real strong way and learn from it. And so this is the energy, like when you're using your intuition this is saying, like, it's very when you're making decisions, make sure you use your intuition and then apply logic to it. And we have the Aquarius energy coming in. That first new moon is in the sign of Aquarius. And we spoke about that already. And so this is about, you know, doubling up on what works for you and letting go of what doesn't. Perception is one of the major accomplices. So a lot of times people, you know, when we're in relationships, will think, oh, the grass is greener on the other side, and then find out, oh, it was fake. And so I have a little kitty on my lap right now. Her name is Stella, and she's purring away here. You may not be able to hear because I have a noise canceling mic. That's her job. She purrs away so that she can raise the vibration. A cat's purr is very healing. So I just wanted to acknowledge all the good work she's doing here and she's being such a good girl. And then we have dissemination of information. So this is talking about the energy being scrambled, and that's at Mercury retrograde. So you may as well go inward and confer with yourself and with God. Sorry, I'm just going to turn that off. And then the energy of lack of awareness. So lack of awareness, never underestimate the power of willful ignorance. This is in the position of your romance partnerships and commitments. And so lack of awareness, quite often when it, never underestimate the power of willful ignorance. Love is blind. They say love is blind for a certain reason. When we love people, we have a tendency to not want to see the negative in them. And some people will take advantage of that. And so you have to be aware of that. This is transition. So the devil energy is coming in here. And the devil is also ruled by, that card is ruled by the energy of Saturn. And the devil energy is basically temptation. So it's sitting right on this making money. And so when the devil's sitting on making money, it's probably saying that there may have been some secrets happening in your life. There may be some money that is gone missing or was made illegally, like actually like counterfeit or money laundering, like making money in illegal ways, when the temptation to do so. And so those are external forces that are affecting your life right now coming in. And it could be you walked away from a partner or some sort of energy here because of that. And now when, you know, you can get embroiled in that information through association. When the devil energy comes in, you're not going to get the truth from the devil. So I always cover it with the next card because I want to see which minion did the devil send in to do his dirty work for him. The devil doesn't do his own dirty work. And does God step in and stop it? And what we have here is judgment. So this is God stepping in. This energy has been coming in reading after reading, the judgment of God and of the cosmic heart, and it's saying, done. Enough of this bullshit. This is what we're seeing, judgment being called. Court is in session in the spiritual court, and that is coming down to earth, and we're seeing it for the first time in like, I don't know, 400 years, 350 to 400 years. They're saying since a monarch was arrested, and we had a monarch arrested, in the last few days here, and followed by, there's been several other arrests. And the arrests weren't for necessarily what people thought it was going to be for, but it was for misappropriation of money. And, follow the money. So if we get judgment coming in and justice gets handed down to people because they misappropriated funds instead of because of the other shift they were doing, we'll take it. It's justice. And these people, when they get when they're in this position, they're going to name names. Of course they're going to do that. And so there's no honor among thieves. So this energy is cleansing the planet right now. And so it's happening as we speak. The trauma queen, this is about, this is wanting that peace from the external forces, like not having to deal with, what is my partner doing now? Like, am I going to have to be worried? Is there going to be more drama? And leaving it, just saying, I want peace. I'll take peace over drama any day. The moon energy, it's talking again, reckless abandon, WRECK. So this is talking about these cycles right now, that this eclipse cycle that we're in is really a powerful time if we use it correctly and we go inward and we really Look, what are my authentic desires? This is in the position of this cup of love, this new cup of love coming in, being someone that actually supports you. This is your reputation, your career, that kind of energy. Someone that makes you look good, you know, instead of making you look bad kind of energy. Associations with people who aren't going to jail, that kind of energy. And this is Scorpio energy coming in. So the Scorpio energy is really, this is about the sexual gladiator of the horoscope. So you can use that energy from your sacral chakra to produce babies, and you can also use it to produce, you know, like wonderful projects and, you know, like, you know, other beautiful energy. And so this is talking about having the ability, Scorpio at their finest unites people and elevates everybody's position in the world. And they're very, you know, like when a Scorpio is in that energy, they're very charismatic and are able to move forward and do that. And so this is the rebel with a cause, like wanting to do that, basically. And then we have the Libra energy, and this is about being in a situation where you're mature. And the Libra energy is, you know, like a mature... It's someone that's ready to be married, ready for commitment, ready, wanting to have that commitment to raise families in a really, you know, in a good place, and bringing that energy in. So this is a really awesome reading for you, Capricorn. There's a lot of really good advice here for every sign. And, you know, Capricorn is really good at pentacles. And you're the most mature of the pentacle signs. So, and it's through the discipline that you're able to achieve such high goals. It's a good learning curve for all of us. If you've enjoyed this reading, please do give it a like and a comment, and consider subscribing if you resonate with the energy of my channel. I would be honored if you did so. And I will be back with another reading. The next ones will be for the full moon eclipse coming up on March 3rd is what I'm going to do for each of the signs. It's going to be a bonus reading. I feel like it's really powerful energy that can really move us forward in a strong way. All right, Capricorn. I'm looking at the Scorpio card here. Have a really good one here, and I'll be back with that next reading later. Bye for now. Sorry, little kitty, I have to wake you up now. Yes.